Do you know the story of Samudra Manthan? It was Asuras and Devas fighting against each other, and that's when it was decided that the oceans will be churned to obtain Amrit so as to ensure the immortality of gods. And this is exactly what India is trying to do, because they have been vulnerable, they have been weak when we look at the dependence in terms of energy. Every time there is a war, every time there is some global shock that goes, India becomes targeted in terms of its import dependence. And India does not want that anymore. And that's why India has started not just looking towards its land, but also beneath the ocean in form of Mission Samudra Manthan, where they will be looking for resources which they can utilize and strengthen themselves in terms of energy. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to talk about Samudra Manthan mission and also deep water exploration mission, which has been launched recently, but it was mentioned in our Independence Day speech by our Prime Minister last year itself. And this is happening right now because given the West Asian instability and also the risk of Strait of Hormuz and the closure makes India vulnerable again. And that is why we are fast tracking our larger energy security plan so as to make sure that we are not vulnerable to every global shock, to every war that goes out there in the global landscape. So let us begin with understanding that what exactly is Mission Samudra Manthan. So when we are talking about Mission Samudra Manthan, it is basically a national deep water exploration mission. Now the focus here of this exploration mission would be to enhance India's energy security. And the whole aim here is to increase oil and gas exploration wells from as of now, which is 30 to 100 per year. So this is something that we are focusing on research and development, and this is targeted not just for any other year, this year itself. There will be immense focus on deep water drilling and also geological studies of sedimentary basins. That means we will be able to take advantages of our exclusive economic zones in terms of resources. So when we are talking about exclusive economic zones, they are basically the 200 nautical mile maritime area from the coastline itself, where the nations have the rights to use the resources. And this is not something that is only for India. This has been internationally standardized by UNCLOS back in 1982 itself. Now when we are talking about better utilization of resources, here in context with this mission, the focus is to boost not only deep water drilling but also expand strategic reserves. Now, strategic reserves, when we are talking about them, these are the oil reserves which are kept for the emergency time. If we are not able to import, then what we will use? We will use the oil from this strategic reserves. So we want to make a bigger buffer of 90 days. And why do we want to do this? Because we are heavily dependent in terms of import. The number is as high as 85%. So this is basically a mission mode strategy so as to not only reduce import dependence but also get the increase in domestic hydrocarbon generation and also strengthen our strategic reserves. So putting the small pieces together to put in the large energy security plan in place. Now when we are talking about this mission itself, the most important thing here is why does it matter? It matters because it reduces our import dependence, it matters because it is going to expand our petroleum strategic reserves, it is going to help that we set and we reach the global benchmark of 90-day buffers. Can you tell me in the comment section what is the buffer of US, which is supposedly having the largest strategic petroleum reserve in the world? Other than that, there is also focus on that we will increase the domestic output when we are talking about in terms of oil, hydrocarbon production. And this is significant because this will be a huge risk shield. As I mentioned in the start, wherever there is any instability, petrol prices skyrocket, global oil prices skyrocket, and as a consequence, it costs heavy on our foreign exchange reserves, it costs heavy on other inflation, it costs heavy in terms of management of our macroeconomic factors. So in this context, this will work as a shield, it will help in trade balance and also stability. Now this is not all, this is also going to facilitate our blue economy, because when we are talking about deep water exploration, this will directly strengthen the blue economy vision which has already put in place by Government of India. It will be a complementary mission that will facilitate Sagarmala projects, that will facilitate port-led development, and it also sits very well aligned with PM Matsya Sampada Yojana, which talks about sustainable marine resource use. It also promotes offshore infrastructure, jobs and coastal economic growth. So it is not something that is just for the resource sake, there will be a direct boost that will be created to blue economy. There are other significances as well, such as that what it will do in terms of energy security. So here we have to understand that when we are talking about Mission Samudra Manthan, this is where we are not just talking about incremental reforms, we are going towards mission mode strategy, mission mode exploration. We are basically fast tracking it to reduce our vulnerabilities, and the amount of potential it has in terms of hydrocarbon reserves being unlocked is almost 5 times, because if we are looking towards the target of 2047, as of now we only have 1.6 billion tons of oil equivalent in terms of potential. By 2047, we are going to make it 5 BTOE. So this stands as a huge target, and this will help in strengthening India's position, not just in terms of reserve, but how we are as a player in refining as a petrochemical hub, and how we have clearly understood that we need buffers. And the example is not only the Gulf War, but the shock of global economic down that we saw in 2008, the recent Israel-Iran war and so many more. So this is where we get to see that this is going to do a roundup for us, not just for blue economy strategic reserves, but also as a potential leader, as a major hub in the global landscape. And this will directly play a huge role in maritime security as well. Because when we are talking about especially Strait of Hormuz, you have to understand Arabian Sea, it is directly connected, and then Indian Ocean. This is where we will be lesser dependent on vulnerable choke points, and the asset production that will be happening especially in Indian Ocean, this will complement our maritime vision of Sagar, and also providing the security, being actually a player in Indian Ocean security. Now apart from this mission itself is not something that we can. Now this is a mission where we get to see a tech driven green revolution, but this green revolution is for oceans, because we are going to see advanced seismic surveys and AI-based basin mapping. That means how technology and innovation help green revolution, same way it is going to facilitate oceans. We are going to increase output just like we did in agriculture, now for agriculture natural gas, and it also will bring energy production, renewable energy push, because MNRE will also be directly involved and it will be integrated with this mission. So you have to understand that the reason I am highlighting all of these, that how they are so very interconnected in terms of consequences. It promotes indigenous technology, it promotes energy equipment manufacturing, it strengthens the ocean institutions which are already present in Ministry of Earth Sciences, and this sets in a domino effect, not just in terms of advantages, in terms of research and development, in terms of innovation, in terms of building of economy in multiple forays. And this is where we will talk about the science backbone behind this mission itself, that is the deep ocean mission. The focus of this deep ocean mission is the sustainable use of deep sea resources. It was launched 5 years back in 2021, And the whole idea of this mission was not only to boost blue economy but also bring in climate research and biodiversity. So it has been such an expansive plan which has included Samudrayan project, Matsya 6000 and so much more. The research on ocean thermal energy conversion, that is also part of this, and extraction of polymetallic nodules which can give a good boost to our metal production also has been part of this. So this is the main science backbone which can be understood as the starting point of what we are seeing in terms of mission Samudra Manthan. But at the same time, this marks a huge transition for India, that how India is looking in a proactive manner and not just in a reactive manner. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section. That is all from my side. Thank you so much.